Get ready for The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's dedicated update show. Events, businesses, and people. Anything and anyone causing a ripple in the community. And now, let's dive in to The Splash Live.
Welcome to The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's very own daily half-hour TV, radio, and streaming news talk program. I'm Tyler Kieft. Today we'll be exploring a whole host of fun news, events, and activities going on and coming up across our four communities of Keego Harbor, Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, and West Bloomfield Township. You can join us 5 days a week from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99 in the Greater West Bloomfield area on CivicCenterTV. Page at facebook.com/CivicCenterTV15, as well as on the radio, 89.3 Lakes FM and lakesfm.com. Let's start with what's happening around town. First in news over the weekend, you may have noticed over the weekend and up to now, Le Shop 2 in Keego Harbor has redesigned its logo and its entrance. It's a new look for a new era at Le Shop 2, taking out their old graphics and putting in their new look. And it looks very sleek, very much like that staple in Keego Harbor with their antiques and other great happenings and products that go there. Nice new look for them in a new era, as you see here on your screen. On CivicCenterTV.com, you saw their old one. Now that's their new look, nice and sleek. You can clearly see the name of their store there, much better than that script you saw before in their original one. So very exciting news down there, and they had help from a local graphic design business as well to help put that in. So a great local staple in Keego Harbor getting help from another great local business as well. Good news happening in the heart of the lakes. Next up, make sure your vote counts. Absentee voting is available, and it still is available, up until 4 p.m. on the day of the election. Special hours at the West Bloomfield Township Clerk's Office begin Wednesday of this week, which will be 8 a.m. until 7 p.m. Thursday, November 3rd, that's next week Thursday, from 8 a.m. until 7 p.m. And the Saturday before the election, November 5th, 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. So if you have any questions, if you'd like to vote absentee and want to apply for your absentee ballot and receive your absentee ballot and submit your absentee ballot right at the clerk's office, you can do that on those dates. Again, we'll go through them one more time. Wednesday of this week, 8 a.m. until 7 p.m. That's Wednesday, October 26th. Thursday, next week, Thursday, November 3rd, 8 a.m. until 7 p.m. And then Saturday, November 5th, the Saturday before the election, special election hours in West Bloomfield at the clerk's office from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. As always, the drop box for your absentee ballots is available and is protected by the West Bloomfield Police Department 24/7 at Town Hall on the west side or the library side of Town Hall. So go ahead, if you have your absentee ballots, the clerk's office absolutely encourages you to drop them off, especially as we get closer to Election Day. The closer we get to Election Day, the more they are encouraging you to take your absentee ballots. Don't put them in the mail. Take them directly to Town Hall and drop them off in the ballot drop box on the library side. That's the west side of West Bloomfield Township Hall. They collect those regularly throughout the day and clear out those drop boxes. They're also guarded by the West Bloomfield Township Police Department and monitored throughout the day as well as on camera. So you can be assured that your votes will be securely received by the West Bloomfield Township Clerk's Office before Election Day or by Election Day and be counted as regular. Again, west side of Town Hall is where that ballot drop box is, and that is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to drop off your ballots instead of sending them over the mail. As you get closer to Election Day, you run a greater risk of your mailed absentee ballot not making its way to Town Hall by the deadline on Election Day. And if that does happen, even if it's a few minutes late, they can't count your vote, and it simply is an invalid ballot at that point. So if you're voting absentee, you want your vote to count, of course. You have plenty of options, and as always, you can contact the West Bloomfield Township Clerk's Office or look up frequently asked questions about absentee ballots on their website, wbtownship.org. Also in election news, voter registration is no longer available by mail or online. You now must go in person to your local clerk's office if you are yet to have registered for November 8th's election. Beginning today, registering voters must register in person at the respective city or township clerk's offices. For West Bloomfield Township, you can learn more at wbtownship.org or by calling 248-451-4845. Again, 248-451-4848 for more information in West Bloomfield Township. In Keego Harbor, just call City Hall 248-682-1930. That's 248-682-1930 for more information in the heart of the lakes. In the prettiest little city in Michigan, in Sylvan Lake, that's 248-682-1440. 248-682-1440. And of course, you want to contact your local clerk's department in each of these municipalities. For the city of Orchard Lake Village, that phone number is going to be 248-682-2400. Again, contact your local clerk's office if you have any questions about the upcoming elections, whether it be absentee ballots, whether or not your absentee ballot has been received, if you're registered to vote, or certainly if you want to register to vote now that you have to do that in person at your clerk's office. And again, check on each of these municipalities' websites, wbtownship.org, keegoharbor.org, sylvanlake.org, and cityoforchardlake.com for more information on their regular hours. So you can stop into your clerk's office, get yourself registered to vote, and vote in this very important upcoming election just a couple weeks away. If you're looking for some guaranteed winter fun for the whole family, head over to the Bowers School Farm in Bloomfield Hills for their winter park. It's returning on January 6th of 2023 through February 26th of next year with ice skating, snow tubing, bonfires, comfort foods, entertainment, select animal experiences, and more. Winter Park is your ultimate winter destination with early access tickets beginning on December 1st of this year for members. Tickets are expected to sell out, so you might want to become a member of Bowers School Farm in order to secure your spot. More information can be found by searching Bowers Farm or going to bloomfield.org. Of course, Bowers School Farm is a service of the Bloomfield Hills School District. I know we're in Greater West Bloomfield. We're in West Bloomfield Township here, but we have several school districts that cover the West Bloomfield area, including the Bloomfield Hills School District, which oversees Bowers School Farm, a great place to go for activities for the whole family and great learning experiences, too. It's a beautiful facility. General public tickets for the Winter Park will also begin to be available in early December. Winter Park is operated by the Friends of the Bowers Farm. More information on bloomfield.org, a service of the Bloomfield Hills School District. Back on the election front, on Election Day, November 8th, join us outside of the ballot polls for a celebration of those who protected our right to vote in the military at the Heroes Appreciation Breakfast at West Bloomfield Middle School. We'll recognize our veterans, celebrate their service, and give them a long overdue thank you for all they've done to protect our country and give us the freedoms to have these kinds of celebrations as a community. November 8th, 2022, from 9 a.m. until 10:30 a.m. That will be happening at West Bloomfield Middle School. Veterans and one guest may attend for free, and all others and non-veterans may also attend for a $15 fee per ticket. For more information and to register, you can learn more at wbparks.org/heroes. Lastly, in the city of Sylvan Lake, a really interesting opportunity coming up to shop small. Small Business Saturday is coming up November 26th. It's still a ways away, but they definitely want to get your opportunity to join in on this fun. If you submit selfies at a small business, and this just came out in the Sylvan Lake News Bite, which you can register for on sylvanlake.org. If you register there and you submit selfies at small businesses that you consider to be a quote unquote local gem, you might be in line for some prizes. First prize is $1,000. Second prize is $500. The sweepstakes deadline is on Small Business Saturday, November 26th. You can enter to learn more by, of course, subscribing to the Sylvan Lake News Bite or just going and finding on sylvanlake.org their latest copy of the Sylvan Lake News Bite. And you'll be able to find all that information that you need to register for this and start taking those selfies at local small businesses. Hey, we mentioned Le Shop, too, in Keego Harbor and their new sign over there on Orchard Lake Road. That's a great place to go to get a selfie. Get a selfie in front of their new sign over there. Go to one of the great local businesses. Gino's will be reopening very soon, and get a selfie in front of their renovated building, their revamped building, Santia Hall, Jaybird, and Keego Harbor. Think about the Sylvan Table right across the street from Sylvan Lake City Hall. While you're going over there registering to vote or dropping off your absentee ballots, get a selfie at Sylvan Table, and of course patronize these local businesses, these small businesses too. That's the whole point of this, is to encourage people to visit our great small businesses right here across the Greater West Bloomfield area. Another great resource for small businesses is the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce, West Bloomfield Chamber. civic.com for more information on that front. That's what's happening around town. You can join us every day from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. for more information on what's happening in the greater West Bloomfield area. And of course, join me for more information across Oakland County and around the state from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. for more events, fun, and news on the MegaCast. We'll take a short break. When we come back, it's an exciting time of the fall season as we head back under the Friday night lights later this week for playoff football at the Swamp. The West Bloomfield Lakers football team is in the playoffs. They'll be taking on Cass Tech coming up from Detroit on Friday at 7:30 p.m. West Bloomfield Lakers football play-by-play commentator Dave Scott joins me live from the Swamp. Coming up next, we'll preview this week's matchup with Cass Tech and look ahead at the Lakers' prospects in this playoff journey on their way to what hopefully will be a second state championship in just a few years. That'll be coming up next. You're watching and listening to The Splash Live.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
Let's whoop it up for these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the cheering going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
You know, it's peaceful, it's quiet, and the noise and stress of life can sometimes disappear.
It's the Great Lakes water, and so what people do ends up in our waterways.
It's for our health and safety, it's for our economy, it's for protecting the environment that we all enjoy and we all need to survive.
So clearing storm drains and the areas nearby of trash and leaves helps keep them for rain only.
We're all about one water in this region. We're all connected. We all have a role.
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's very own daily half-hour TV, radio, and streaming news talk program. I'm Tyler Kieft. Well, we are in an exciting time of the football season. The regular season has come and passed with West Bloomfield's 16-13 win last week Friday against Utica Eisenhower. Now it's on to the MHSAA Division I playoffs. And with the Lakers' stellar performance in the regular season, they're scheduled to have hopefully a few playoff home games coming up if all goes well this Friday. But it all starts on Friday as Detroit Cass Tech comes to town at 7:30 for that kickoff. Joining me now is a guy who joins me every Friday for Laker Football live on CivicCenterTV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Dave Scott live from the Swamp, where we've had some special exploration coming up for a big game on Friday with a lot of local press on it, Dave.
Tyler, good to be with you. It is a cool day here. Wind's blowing a little bit and sun is shining, and this is just what it's going to be like on Friday night right here as we have our very first playoff game, and it couldn't be more interesting and exciting. So I'm thrilled to be out here and getting ready for this game. The big playoff pairings, Tyler, were all picked on Sunday, and let's start right there and talk about that a little bit and explain to people how this all works, how we ended up where we are, and a little bit of controversy and a couple of complaints rotating around West Bloomfield as the way it all lined up. But West Bloomfield, Cass Tech on Friday night. And the highlight there, Tyler, is Cass Tech is one of the best teams in Division I. And, you know, we have the most points. We're at the very top of our part of the playoff tournament. But we ended up playing Cass Tech because their points were low. But because they play games out of state, because they play in the incredibly competitive PSL in Detroit, we're up against probably the most competitive team. And I think I saw a story in the Free Press that said not only our district, but our bracket, our specific bracket in the district tournament is the most competitive in the entire state.
Yeah, it's a really interesting layout for West Bloomfield. Looking in their district, they're in district number 1 in region number 4. So there's 4 brackets individually. The 2 brackets at the top, 1 and 2, will meet in their semifinal. Our bracket, region 4 and region 3, which features teams like Belleville, the number 1 team in the state, would meet in that presumptive semifinal. But if you look at West Bloomfield's district, between just the district alone, it's West Bloomfield and Cass Tech, and then it's Troy High School, also in the OAA down division, going up against Southfield A&T, a familiar foe for West Bloomfield that they went up against just a couple weeks ago. But Cass Tech, this is a really interesting matchup because, as you said, the PSL in Detroit is a very highly competitive league. It features other teams such as Detroit Martin Luther King, which has a 5-star quarterback in Dante Moore, the highest rated Michigan football recruit in over 20 years, 5 stars, headed to Oregon. They had a couple of really tough matchups against King earlier on in the year. They played them in the 4th week of the season, lost by 5 points, and then they played them just a couple weeks ago in the PSL Blue Finals, where they beat Martin Luther King 28-14 in a big upset. But you look at the rankings also. These are West Bloomfield and Cass Tech, 2 really highly ranked teams that are very close to each other. You look at West Bloomfield, the final regular season rankings from the D Zone has West Bloomfield as the number 5 team in the state, and Cass Tech is right there. They're number 11 in the state. And despite all that, this is a first round matchup. And that's where that controversy kind of comes from. Some complaints, some words coming out that maybe this isn't the right matchup for a team like West Bloomfield with the success that they had in round 1 to be taking on, in the regular season to be taking on in round 1. But hey, the way I see it, Dave, if you're going to win a state championship, if you're going to be poised to take on presumptively in the semifinal a team like Belleville, you got to be able to beat the top-notch competition from the jump in these playoffs.
Well, it's going to make it a lot of fun on Friday night. As the sun comes out, I'm optimistic, Tyler, that the Lakers can handle Cass Tech, but they're going to have to be at the very top of their game. And the Lakers are coming off some injuries, most notably Rick Nance, a quarterback who I was here at practice yesterday. He's still got a cast on his left arm here from an injury to, I think it's his pinky or one of his fingers. And, later in the postseason, maybe he would play. Will he play Friday night? We'll probably won't know until just before the kickoff. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So for our audience watching that may not be as familiar as all this, you get more points by beating teams, and you get more points by beating good teams. That's what the Lakers did. We have more points than most of the teams that went through the tournament that had some losses. So we come in great, and that means for the first time since you and I have been covering the team that West Bloomfield, if we win out, will get 2 district games and a regional final before we go to neutral sites to play other teams. So the first game, you get one of the most competitive games you're going to have getting through this district and through this regional. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So fans, it's going to be gorgeous Friday night. There is no bigger game in the state of Michigan than Cass Tech West Bloomfield. This is the ultimate measuring stick. Tyler, you're right. You want to get to the state final. You want to win it. Play the best teams. It's all coming down to this Friday night. The other 2 games that we need to get to the state semis, I'm not going to say they're going to be easy, but they'll be easier than what we have. We got a great challenge. The weather's going to be nice. And clearly, it's just so big of a game that Valley Sports will be covering the whole thing live, and their TV crew is going to be here in a couple of minutes. That's why I'm out here at the Swamp, in addition to meeting with you here today on the Splash Live. So I don't know. I'm pretty fired up about it. It's going to be a whale of a football game on Friday night. We're going to know a lot more on Saturday morning.
Yeah, it's a game chock full of talent as well. You mentioned West Bloomfield having some players back, maybe Rick Nance, certainly Samaj Morgan coming back after a regular season finale suspension due to an ejection late in the game for taunting against Southfield A&T. He'll be coming back too. And then you look at Cass Tech, great players on the trenches. Jalen Thompson, defensive end, headed to Michigan State, and he's ranked by the D Zone number 4 in this senior class in the state of Michigan behind Samaj Morgan at number 2. And we mentioned Dante Moore, the quarterback from Detroit King, at number 1. Then you look at their sophomore class, too. A couple of really interesting players in the secondary defensively, and Alex Graham and Cassius Shivers, who are both ranked very highly in that class of 2025 that features Belleville quarterback Bryce Underwood. And so this is one of the many reasons why all eyes are on West Bloomfield on Friday night. And then, of course, why it's been chosen by our friends at Bally Sports to be their Football Friday game of the week.
Absolutely. And, one of the things that I've been most impressed with is how our community has turned out for these games. We have seen more people in our regular season games than we've ever seen. The popularity of the program is growing. But in addition to that, Tyler, we're just seeing the community start to figure it out. And you don't get 2,500 people to 4,000 people here with just mom and dads from the players. The schools behind it, I see the community behind it. I think there becomes a greater community, too, of just the best high school football fans in the state. It's going to be packed here. All the tickets are sold through a website, pre-sale. You cannot walk up and get a ticket to this game. You got to buy them in advance, and you got to buy them online. So, number one, we hope we just pack this place with West Bloomfield fans, and we have a really wonderful experience here, and everyone behaves themselves. And then it gets a little more complicated with our broadcast, and we can get into that. But, Tyler, people got to get their tickets.
Yeah, and you can always find more information. A couple places. You can go to the athletics website at wbsd.org. Another great resource, twitter.com, and you're looking for the real EPAP. That is Eric Pierce, West Bloomfield High School athletic director. His Twitter page is always posting ticket information for away games and for home games. Great place to get those updates as well. And get your tickets early, as this game's going to be one that a lot of people from around Greater West Bloomfield, certainly around Southeast Michigan and around the state, want to see in person. Lots of talent here.
Now, we wouldn't be doing ourselves journalistic justice here if we didn't talk about another issue, and that's the fact that when Southfield A&T and Cass Tech got together earlier in the season, there was some roughhousing going on amongst the fans, and that caused a really unusual situation. They had to suspend the game, pick it up a couple of days later, and actually play the game at Southfield A&T without any fans on site at all. So expect a little bit more security presence here at the game than you're used to seeing. And, come out and cheer on the Lakers. But, just do it in a really positive way. And let's reflect good sportsmanship on Friday night.
Yeah, it's friendly competition. It's going to be certainly very hotly contested competition too. But we want to show a good example of what Greater West Bloomfield is, and certainly want to invite our friends from Cass Tech and their community, their extensive alumni base, also to come out and enjoy this too. And we know they're going to bring their always classy group of individuals to West Bloomfield, and so we
absolutely
show them the same respect, and they'll show it for you.
No, I think it's going to be a very positive experience on Friday night. So let's talk about our broadcast. We have been thrilled to be able to be here all season long and all of our away sites and bring you every game on television and on radio and television, CivicCenterTV, and then all of our web outlets, Facebook Live for the schools, YouTube, My Michigan TV. I mean, literally anywhere that you could find a screen, Tyler. we were really happy to put the games on. We're in the postseason now. The rules change a little bit, so we're still working on negotiating how all that's going to work. But we invite you to stay tuned. We are definitely going to have audio coverage, and that's why I'm here today, to work out and see what we can work out for video coverage of this game. And I right above me, there's this Pixelot camera in our press box, and the NFHS network has a streaming package that the MHSAA, the Michigan High School Athletic Association, is encouraging people to go to watch not only this game, but all the games during postseason. So we're going to talk to them today, see if we can strike a partnership. And my guess is our games, maybe not this one with Valley here, but the remainder of the games will find a way for you to watch the game in addition to be able to hear it. That's my commitment to the community. We'll do everything we can to make that happen.
And of course, you can learn more about the NFHS network and sign up for subscriptions if you'd like to watch other games across the state as well over the NFHS network by visiting NFHSnetwork.com. That's NFHSnetwork.com. Games across the state of Michigan, Dave.
Did I say that right? NFHS. I always like mix that acronym up a little bit. But I went on, I subscribed last night. It cost me $11. It was really no big deal. And I actually went back and watched the Southfield A&T Cass Tech game. So it's a really cool service. And it's $11 a month. But you could just sign up for 1 month, go in, sign up, and then you can almost immediately cancel your service and it'll play out for the month. So, I mean, for about the price of one ticket to one game for one person, you can watch all this. I really encourage you to get out to that site, regardless of what our plans end up being, and sign up. It's a pretty cool deal.
Yeah, it is. It's a great way to watch high school football in your hometown if you're out of town, and certainly a lot of other really interesting games all across the state, including some of these presumptive opponents coming up next for West Bloomfield. It's really interesting if all goes well this week and things sort of align in West Bloomfield's favor. These next couple of games could potentially be rematches of these final 2 weeks of the regular season.
Yeah, we're going to see teams, Southfield A&T, Troy, and then beyond that, as we get into the regional final, maybe another, game against Belleville. So there are great games coming up. But this one on Friday night, it is not your typical opening district game. This might as well be, for us, almost like the regional final on Friday night, Tyler.
Yeah, and you know what? It's interesting too because there've been these kinds of matchups between West Bloomfield and Cass Tech in regional finals in the past. You think about the year that West Bloomfield went up against Clarkston in the state championship game. They played Cass Tech late in the playoffs on a neutral site, and that was a game that featured some late game heroics from the L Boys taking that W. So some history here too between these two teams.
Well, no question about it. And bottom line, it's been an amazing season. The Lakers have had some challenges. They have met all of them, and I'm sure they're going to be ready to play Friday night. And I'm going to do everything I can to encourage everybody in this community to come out and enjoy something very special. And that is a team of destiny that at least is all lined up to have the opportunity to go as far as they can take themselves. And we'll be here to witness it all and enjoy every darn second of it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And we'll have a new episode also of This Week in Laker Football coming tonight. I'll be shooting that and editing that this afternoon with the West Bloomfield Lakers football team and head coach Tyrese Grice. So take a look out for that as we get a preview of West Bloomfield Laker playoff football. Dave, thanks for joining us.
Tyler, great. And go Lakers. We'll see you Friday night.
Go Lakers indeed. Friday night, 7:30 p.m. kickoff. Our coverage will begin at about 6:30 right here on 89.3 Lakes FM and possibly some other locations as well. That is going to do it for today's edition of the Splash Live. As always, you can join us live Monday through Friday from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. for up-to-date information on news, events, and activities right here in West Bloomfield, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and Orchard Lake Village. I'm Tyler Kieft. That does it for this show. We'll return later on this week with more episodes of the Splash Live. Greater West Bloomfield. We'll see you soon.